so much for tuning in to another episode from Make Me Your Wife series. This is one I'm super excited about. As you can tell, I'm smiling from Walla to Walla. So basically, if you watched my last vlog, I'll put a link down below if you haven't, but I said at the end I wanted to have a more interactive vlog, and I wanted to share women's voices. I wanted men to know what we're thinking, what we want them to know. So I put in my Snapchat, in my Instagram, in my Facebook, sent messages to women I know and asked them to share with other women about what they would want men to know or learn about us. And I got floods and floods of information, and I'm so excited that I get to share it. The information was a lot, so I have decided to split it up into 3 parts. So the first vlog, which is this vlog today, will be about sex and communication. The next one, I will talk about how women want to be viewed and treated by men. And then the last vlog is pretty much a summary of other things that women have shared, and a summary of what I also would want men to know about or learn about us women. So I'm really excited. So obviously, as I said before, the first one is going to be on sex and communication. So I'm going to use my phone because I put everything here in it because it's easier. So I'm going to read what women say and then just add on to that. So we're going to talk about sex first. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. So us, is it? I don't know. Anyway, just having a moment. Have a laugh. It's good to have a laugh. Anyway, sex. So the first lady says, to be open with their partner. Okay, especially when it comes to intimacy, and for you men to also be aware that intimacy also changes. It won't be the same as it always was in the beginning. So the part about being open, we women also need to be open with our men, and men, you need to be open with us and tell us what you want sexually, and women do the same, because then that way it improves your intimacy and your and also strengthens your bond and relationship and shows that you guys can communicate. The part about things change, let's be honest, at the beginning with everything, you know, everyone's eager beaver, yeah? So couples are gonna be like bunnies, innit? All over the place, all over the gaff, yeah? But as you grow older, as you grow more into the relationship and get to know each other a bit more, things take over, life takes over. Perhaps you might be going through stress at work. As a woman, there's a lot of things that goes on in this body, yeah? If it ain't periods, it's something else. It's probably pregnancy or something or whatever, hormones affects us. And sometimes, I guess, you know, from this point, from this woman's point, sometimes I guess you men can view us as sex objects, you know. You've probably watched too many, you know, videos of girls gallivanting over there on the pole, on the stripper's pole, shaking their tail feather. We're not always like that. Yes, we can bring up and step up the game and, you know, have a little va-va-voom in the bedroom, yeah. But things change. And our bodies as women, it changes a lot. I do not look how I look like when I was 16, okay? And I'm sure, as much as I believe I'm forever 21, my body's gonna change when I'm a bit older. So to respect that as men, and I'm gonna add on to that. The woman that you're with, if you really are with her, then be with her. Don't go over there chasing skirts just because she doesn't look like the skirt that you're looking for, yeah? Adore her, love her. Remember, you're also changing as a person. You don't look how you looked 20 years ago. You look very different, but she's still there with you, adoring you and loving you. So do the same, show the same respect. So the next comment, they need to realize the morning after pill affects the woman's body. Then this is definitely a topic on unprotected sex, and it can be in a situation where a couple, either if you both consent as people, fair dues, but this comes from someone perhaps who has found themselves in a situation where in the heat of the moment the man's just like, or the man's like, oh, I prefer to have sex without a condom. There is men out there who do that, but if you're doing it for selfish reasons, or like you're not considering her, there are consequences for having sex without a condom, and one of them could be getting pregnant, not to mention various diseases that you can get. So just to remember that, you know, she has a body that you want, so look after it together by having protected sex. And then the last one, I would want men to understand that for some women, when we refuse to have sex with them, it is not a matter of playing hard to get or stuff like that. We just don't want to. Accept the no and move on. Do not insult. This really touched me somewhere, you know. If as a woman you ever find yourself in a situation where the man does not understand that you don't want to have sex, darling, honey, explain your reasons. If they're clear and you've explained and he's still trying to push, run. Never put yourself in a situation where you are not consenting, because then it becomes borderline something else. And you as a man, if you're with a girl and she don't want to give up the cookie, respect that, you know. If you really adore her, be with her, enjoy the relationship for what it is, and if it takes a turn into being sexual, let it do that naturally. Don't force it, because when you force it, then you become a man labelled with a certain name that I don't want to talk about, because this is not about that. But yeah, let's just respect each other and be open with one another. As the first woman said, be open with your partner about how far you want to go intimately, and what intimate is to you when relating with each other. Communication. Let me tell you, I am so big on communication. I'm big because I like to communicate, and I think it's important. I think if you don't communicate, then you ain't growing and going nowhere. So the First Lady says, I'd like them to shake their entitlement attitude, because he's a man that a woman must follow. If he's going nowhere, we ain't following. Communicate your vision, have a plan. I love that. If you ain't going nowhere, we ain't following. Okay. In the Bible, it says that a man generally is supposed to be a person who protects, who provides, who professes. So, if you're a provider, have a vision. What is it you want to achieve in your life? What is it where are you going as a man? How can I, as a woman, help you? How can I encourage you? How can I support you? How can I be there for you? You know? So, and this notion that us women can't be nothing without you, things have changed. Life is not the way it used to be back in the day where women didn't have rights. Things have changed, and I think if you are a man and you're courting and you're dating this lady, be honest with her. Tell her, this is my struggles, this is what I want to achieve, this is the kind of woman I'm looking for. And if she feels that she's that woman, she will follow. But like, communicate your vision, be clear, and say, right, I'm planning to do my masters, I'm planning to get this job because I want it to take me to XYZ. Are you down? You know? The other one, to be open about the finances. I agree with this. I think I've had so many women say, I'm not really sure what he does with his money. But yet you're together and probably living in the same house. And then one day, you know, innocently you hear someone knocking on your door and it's bailiffs coming to collect stuff. I agree with this woman. It is really important, and not just for the man to be open about it, even the woman. So be open about the finances, money, and saving. She goes on to say it's important that you both know each other's spending pattern to avoid any issues that may happen in the future, or be aware of what problems may occur. Right, a couple of years ago, I remember there's a program that was called, I think, something The Baggage or something like that. It was the host, I think, was Jerry Springer. And it wasn't that kind of Jerry Springer show back in the day. This one was a different one about dating. So basically, a female or a male will have these three people right in front of them, and then they have to reveal a baggage. And so they have to reveal, and when they reveal the baggage, you have to decide, can I handle that baggage or not? Yeah. So where she says about being aware of what problems may occur, if you're in debt, be open about that, okay? Because if you're together, it affects the both of you. Even if you're not supporting that person financially, mentally you're being drained, and emotionally you're being drained, because if they're not happy, honey, I ain't gonna be happy either, and vice versa. So like, it's important that both of you as a couple are open, and men, tell us what you're doing with your money, what you're planning to invest in. You know, God forbid you pass on and then, like, I don't know what's going on as your wife. So be open, and women also be open about your finances, and let each other know about what you tend to spend your money on. And then if it's a bad thing, you can rectify it. If it's a good thing, you can carry on in that positive thing. If you're a person who tends to invest in bonds and what have you, and they're bringing returns, you can encourage that person to keep going. Okay, then we change it up a bit. And this lady says, communicate and disallow jealousy in your relationship, for it will grow into bitterness. Okay, this comes to the topic of trust, right? Green should not be your color when it comes to relationships. And speak what's in your heart. If you're uncomfortable about maybe a friendship that your lady has with a guy, talk to her about it. Don't start acting up and acting a fool and she don't know why. You know, communicate what's making you feel jealous, and what's making you become bitter about her, and then in turn it's affecting how you relate. So communicate, and just be careful that your emotions are not taking control, is what I would say. And I say this a lot. My quote in life is, be careful of the E before the emotion, because that is what controls how you react and act to things. And why I say that, the letter E comes before the word motion, and hence the word emotion. And E tends to stand for energy. And negative energy can have a really, really detrimental effect in a lot of things, and can carry some really high consequences. So really be careful about your emotions and what's taking control of your decision making. Another lady says, men should also remember all couples argue, and walking away should never be their option. Resolving must be consistent. Okay, so there are some men out there who might be watching this that never like to deal with things. I find that you men, when you love someone, you don't want to hurt them, so you kind of avoid not talking about it. And I've had this in one of my past relationships. We were going through something and I kept bringing it up, and the guy didn't want to talk about it, and then he ended up, you know, talking to someone else about it, and that someone should have been me. And I wish that person at that time had come and spoken to me about it, because I wanted to know what's going on. So talk about your feelings. She's your woman. Trust me, us women, if we love you with all our heart and all our might and everything. We give everything. So we can never genuinely betray that. So if you know your woman is a trustworthy woman, then be open with her. She's there for you. She's with you because she wants to be with you. So let her support you. Let her play that role. Yeah, so be open about what it is that you are feeling about a situation, about something that made you guys argue, you know. And then the last quote I want to say is, this woman says, being together does not have to make her feel as you're both in court due to constant judgment and criticism. Learn to communicate in a lovingly and effective manner and be sensitive to each other's feelings. Forgiveness is a very vital tool in any relationship, and without it, it will crumble. So don't bring yesterday's issue in an argument, and respect each other's views. So it's never sleep angry with one another, basically, is what I would say from that. And don't judge that person. Don't criticize their decision making. If they feel that that's something they want to try, then and you've talked about all the objectives as to why it wouldn't work and why it would work, and they still want to try, then support that person. If that's what your woman wants to do, let her do it. And you as a woman, if that's what your man wants to do, let him do it. And don't be there at the end to say, I told you so, when it didn't work, you know. So deal with things immediately. Find a way to find a middle ground and compromise in whatever it is. And respect each other, man. Respect each other. It's so important. And I think, taking from what these women have said, sometimes I think men might lack respect, as we do. Remember, because I'm addressing men. If respect your woman, value her, care for her, communicate, especially be open about what it is you're after sexually, what it is you enjoy sexually, and communicate what you're feeling. Don't be a champagne bottle, because one day you're gonna pop and she might not be there to carry the showers of emotions that you might have. So communicate, talk to your woman, and she will be there to listen and support you in any way possible. So remember, the next vlog is gonna be about how you men should learn to view and treat us women. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.